Life for All presents Daily Food series, The Word of Life, the Fellowship of Life, and Living Stones for the Edification. The Epistles of John and Peter. Title of Book 4, Tested and Approved by God. Author Pedro. Week 1, Introduction to the Epistles of Peter. Sunday, God's foreknowledge and good pleasure. Read with prayer. Beloved, if our heart does not condemn us, we have confidence towards God. And whatever we ask, we receive from Him because we keep His commandments and do those things that are pleasing in His sight. 1 John chapter 3, verses 21 and 22. When speaking about election, the Apostle Peter writes something that gives us an additional revelation. We are elected according to the foreknowledge of God the Father. This brings a balance between divine election and human choice. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 2. God's foreknowledge means that He has prior knowledge. Since He is in eternity, He already knew everything before there was time and before the world existed. From eternity, He has known and knows everything, even our future. On the one hand, it does not depend on who wills or who runs. On the other hand, He has already known and knows in advance our attitude, our heart, and how we would receive the Word and how much we would strive for His kingdom. Now it becomes clear how important it is for us to strive to do God's will and please Him. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 9 and 10. The creation of man, as well as the plan of salvation, originated from the good pleasure of God the Father, which concerns everything that gives Him pleasure and for which He longs. The Son perceived this longing and, being the very wisdom of God, set out to carry out His will. He became incarnate to save humanity and to carry out God's work through the church. This is why John teaches that we must keep God's commandments in order to do what is pleasing to Him. The word of life that God faithfully gives us each day and that inserts us into the fellowship of life aims to please the Lord. In this way, we keep His commandments because this word gives us the power to do what He wants, and thus we do before Him what is pleasing to Him. This is why we live today with such confidence, because we have done what pleases the Lord and what He wants to carry out. It is not a matter of striving to do works for God. No, this is the confidence we have in Him, that if we ask anything according to His will, He hears us. 1 John chapter 5, verse 14. God chose us from the beginning for salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and belief in the truth. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 13 and 14. It is not salvation alone, but it is salvation through the sanctification of the Spirit and belief in the truth, so that we may attain the glory of our Lord Jesus Christ. Therefore, let us live in the circulation of life by allowing the Word, like water, to wash us and to infuse the truth into us. Peter was a coarse stone, but he allowed himself to be perfected by the Lord through trials and suffering. We need to be clear that we were chosen by God and predestinated to be His heirs. Hence, we are special. However, this election also depends on our heart, on our attitude toward the Word of life and the fellowship of life. If we refuse all of this, we will not have been chosen. Everything depends on the foreknowledge of God the Father regarding us. From now on, let us always live before the Lord in the circulation of life, where He can work in us, making us living stones useful for His edification.